Welcome, everyone. What is going on? So, today on this episode of Dre in the Kitchen, we're actually going to talk a little about where we left off on Carnivore, what happened with Carnivore, where I am today, what's the next step, what's happening, what's going on, because there's been a lot of stuff happening in the last few weeks. So, since my last recording, I did 5 weeks of Carnivore. I dropped 31 pounds in 5 weeks. Um, dramatic changes. I have not been carnivore for about a month now, but what I decided, I was doing a lot of traveling. So I knew that in doing the traveling, hold on, let's adjust this light over here because I feel like I'm blinding myself with these glasses. Hold on, I have to adjust a little bit. So bear with me. There we go. I felt that little tension. I had to crack it for a second. So we did all the things. I stopped it. I went to wine country in California. And of course, I love my fermented grape. So I went ahead. I went to wine country. I had to go. I did a lot of wine tastings at some of my favorite places in Temecula. I saw my doctor. We did blood work. We went over all of the results. Um, and the funny thing is I think I shared with everybody that when I started the carnivore journey, I reached out to my doctor. I was like, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. What are your thoughts? I mean, mind you, my sister and I have done a lot of research. We've done all the things, but I wanted to do it with his guidance. So he was not familiar with carnivore and all of those things. So I sent him a lot of articles. He actually bought some of the books because one of the things that he was concerned about, which I think many people have said it, eating so much meat, what does that do to your cholesterol? So any other time, not doing the research that he had done, my cholesterol did go up substantially. However, comma space, all of my other levels, my triglycerides, everything else dropped. Um, it was incredible. Even he was like, okay, so that was something new. And I love that because he was open to listening and to learning and to reading. So, I see him again probably in June. I have to go back and have a colonoscopy. So I had my checkup for that, found out what I need to do, all of those things. I'm high risk. Both parents died of cancer, my father prostate, my mom ovarian. So he was like, why we don't need to wait till you're 50? Why don't we just do this now? I can't believe I just said that out loud. I'm 47 years old. Look at this skin. Isn't it beautiful? Um, Nobody believes I'm 47 years old. So, I consulted him. Why does my eye look like it's closing? What's the angle? Is it the lighting? Like, what is happening? I need to rearrange this desk. I'll figure it out. I think I need to move the lighting because it's literally the glare makes my eye look like it's smaller. So the doctor was all cool. We're doing all these things, and it's exciting because I took the time off. I did go to wine country, like I said. We did a lot of wine tastings. I went initially, and then I went back for the follow up consultation. And then Ivan and I met up with our friends. We went to a lot of our wineries that I'm still members at, and it was absolutely incredible. The stress levels, because work was stressful for me, work was stressful for Ivan. So there were all these things that were going on, and I needed a break. I needed a break. So we went to wine country. We had the absolute best. What is, like, literally, this eye looks like it's smaller, but it's not. Anyway, see, it's the little things that bug me when you stare at a camera. So that was that. So I have not been carnivore now for going on 4 weeks. And I'll tell you, so I received a lot of questions. Well, how do you feel now that you're not doing it? I got to tell you, I felt like garbage. I won't lie to you. I went to wine country. We drank the wine. We ate the things. And I felt horrible. Absolutely terrible. And it was at that moment that I realized, okay, I'm having my fun. I have one more meeting next week. I'll be in Atlanta for the entire week for my day job. We have a team meeting. And then I'm coming back and I'm going right back to carnivore, which means no sugar, no alcohol, no carbs. And I'm actually excited about it. I'm not going to lie to you. So I did drop 31, 32, about 30, I think it was 32 pounds. I have only put on 2 pounds since then. I've maintained my weight. I also watch what I'm eating, although I won't lie to you. I had pesto pasta with shrimp today. It was fantastic. Homemade pasta. I'm like, I had to do something for me. I haven't had pizza because he's allergic to shrimp. Literally, he's allergic to a lot of crustaceans. So, of course, when I had to clean the kitchen, I had to clean everything, throw out the sponge, then disinfect, because if not, he literally breaks out at touching anything that I touched with shrimp. So we did that. And I'm very proud of myself that I haven't gone crazy. I haven't gained all that weight back, because everybody says once you do it and you go back to eating that sad diet, the standard American diet, that the weight gain comes back on. Well, I sort of included intermittent fasting into everything I'm doing, because I figured if I can do that, that'll help me really just maintain and keep it off. The other thing I discovered during that entire carnivore journey, whether the misconceptions that a lot of people have. I in my comment section, I had people say that you're eating all this meat. Meat is carcinogenic. You're going to get cancer. So, to those people who say that, I really need you to do more education, because that is just not the case. And when you do as much research as and clinical research, we're not talking about other people's opinions. We're talking about reading books, reading studies, reading different things. Uh, I almost said ketogenic, because I was keto for so many years. A carnivore lifestyle, because it's not a diet. To me, it's a lifestyle, can be sustainable if done right. And the whole idea that that you can get cancer from consuming that much meat, that actually goes back to a lot. Everything goes back to Ansel Keys. And if you really do your research, let's not even get the vegans that came onto my channel and started commenting. I'm like, listen, you're entitled to your way of eating. Stay the hell out of mine, okay? This is my choice, and I'm doing it. So if you don't like it, then just scroll on. It's that simple. Like, I don't go to your page and be like, oh my God, plants are evil. I just don't do that. So don't come to my page and tell me that eating meat is going to cause cancer. Doing all these things is really bad for your health, because that's your opinion and you're entitled to those. So if you don't like the lane that I'm in, then just stay the hell out of mine. Yes, I'm a little feisty, because there's a couple of things I'm going to talk about on this video, and they kind of set me off. But those were some of the things that I was getting in the comment section. And then some won't even put in the comment section. They would send me direct messages on either TikTok or on Instagram. And I was like, okay, people, like, okay. So you have an opinion. Opinions are like, okay, I'm going to be really crass in this one. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So move on. Ooh, it's going to be a feisty video. I just sense it. But those were some of the things that people were coming at me with. And I was like, I literally, listen, I have thick skin. I was very well prepared for the comment section. Although I have to tell you, I was watching a live video. I forgot which doctor, Dr. Chafee. And there was a vegan saying, how could you kill these animals? That's just so wrong. Listen, I remember growing up in Puerto Rico, and we had Tia Julia, who had a farm. Yeah, I don't remember where in Puerto Rico. So, family, if you're watching this, just drop it in the comments where in Puerto Rico she had the farm. But I remember playing in the pig pen as a kid. Like, I would always get dirty. It's probably why I didn't get sick a lot as a kid. I played in dirt, in all the mud, all the things. We picked off the land. Even growing up in grandma's house and my abuela's house, we had fruits and vegetables and herbs in the backyard. I remember my uncle had an acerola tree. So we sort of ate off the land, and it was very, very different. So fast forward to me going carnivore at age, oh, wait, how old am I? I said 47, right? I'm 47. Okay. So 46, 47, it was an entire experience. I was very nervous to start that journey, and I've documented it in the first 5 weeks that the videos. You can go back and see them on YouTube. But fast forward to not being carnivore for 4 weeks, I'm actually looking so forward to going back to it. I slept better. Had much more focus. Not only so I can sense a little bit of the swelling, because I am drinking the fermented grape. I will not lie to you. This is a beautiful cab or actually, this is the red blend I'm trying out. It just came out recently, so it's actually absolutely fabulous. But comments were just something else. I did have family members reach out to me and be like, "What are you doing? And how can you do that?" Listen, it was a choice. I was at a point in my life where I was ready for a change. I was 253 pounds and I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is absurd. This is crazy. So I chose a path that was best for me. So now let's go back to what the doctors did. And when we did the results, we sort of made some changes medically in terms of medication that I was on. So I was on 50 milligrams of losartan for high blood pressure. We have since dropped it down to 25, and we're working my way at weaning off because I told him I wouldn't be carnivore until the middle of April, and I'm going to go back to it. So when I go back and see him in either probably June, the second or third week in June, I'll be back in California. The hope and intent is to completely get me off of it. But we're going to monitor it. So every day I do use this trusty little armband. And between Ivan and I, we track our blood pressure because we want to make sure that it's within reason. Do I cook with salt? Absolutely. Do I oversalt my food like I used to? Actually, no. When I was doing carnivore, there was I couldn't eat beef every single day, so it wasn't steak every single day. I did choose different options. I chose chicken thighs. I don't like chicken breasts too much; they're just not my jam. I chose a lot of pork loin or center cut pork chops, so they have three different types of meat on there. I did do duck breast. Um, I'm gonna do lamb. Even though it's a lean meat, you can cook it in lard or fat, different types of fats, which I love that part of the carnivore lifestyle. And you can use different seasonings. You try and keep it to the bare minimums of salt and pepper. But I won't lie to you, I didn't stick to that whole. I'm not gonna put anything green on there because I have chervil at home. I have different herbs, and I did use herbs. And by doing so, I was able to drop that weight. So when I started back up again, I'll continue. I will document it. But I'm grateful to say that, weighing myself this morning, I was at 230 pounds. So I went down to 228. So I've in the last couple of weeks, I've maintained, I do weigh myself because I didn't want it to get a little out of control. I knew I would gain some weight back, but I'm grateful to say that it's only been 2 pounds. I do drink a lot of water. I maintain doing that, and that's the best part of it. We'll see. I might do more awful meats, or not awful, just awful parts of the animal, where it could be the pancreas, it could be brain, it could be different things. Some of you might find that disgusting. I love sweetbreads. They're actually really well, like they're delicious when you cook it in the French way. Fabulous. I learned that in culinary school at Le Cordon Bleu. If you want to watch Julia Child, one of the French chef, when she did her early videos, she does sweetbreads. And they're actually, don't knock it until you try it. Now, if you have a texture issue when you choose certain things and you don't like texture, this may not be for you. But I love them. I may include some escargot in there because I love snails. Like, listen, and I miss rabbit, so I might be cooking Bugs Bunny. I say that because Ivan laughs at me. He's like, "You're gonna eat Bugs Bunny?" I'm like, "Damn, Skippy." Um, so I think that I learned a lot. I learned what I love, what I don't like, how I want to eat things, what I don't want to eat. On doing carnivore, I realized I am not a fan of the New York strip. It does not have enough marbling or fat in it. So I ate what we had, and then I went to my favorite butcher and I bought a lot of ribeyes. And then they had T-bone, which is obviously the fillet plus the New York strip, but they had a sale. I just couldn't help it. However, what I do love is Restaurant Depot. You can buy an entire rack a rib roast, and of course that's your ribeyes. So I'll probably do that, butcher it, clean it up, vacuum seal it, and keep those in the freezer, and just take them out as I want to eat them. What also was a side effect of carnivore is I became OMAD. OMAD is 1 meal a day, and that wasn't intentional. It just I wasn't hungry. In the first 2 weeks, I found myself eating twice a day. I did consume a very large amount of eggs. Usually that was my morning meal, and then in the afternoon, evening, I would have my protein or whatever it was. So the 1 meal a day was a side effect of doing carnivore. It wasn't intentional. It just literally you feel full, and when you eat enough fat with your meal, I found myself so satiated that it really wasn't an issue. So I think next week I'll be in Atlanta. When I do come back, it's back to carnivore, which like I said, I'm really excited about. Uh, Another side effect of that, I was able to build up my wine fridge. So I did take a taste here and there of some new wines. And if I liked them, I didn't do a glass. I literally just did a taste just to really figure out if it was something I wanted to buy or not. So the wine fridge was getting full. There's a lot of bubbles. There's a lot of Italian white wines that I found. I have some Italian reds that are arriving. I did buy some French Bordeaux blends. I've been on a Bordeaux kick lately. So very dry, but they're just delicious if you get the right Bordeaux. I also consumed, which not everyone who follows carnivore includes dairy, but what I did is I did a lot of the different French cheeses, like I did a brie. I have this beautiful way of whipping it. I don't like the rind, so I peel the rind off and I throw it in a food processor and I whip it. And you can add with different things. Like I just experimented. I was like, I don't have a recipe, so let's just figure it out. And I love that, through flavor profiles and just experimentation, I discovered so many different things. So I was very happy about that. So that was the carnivore journey. I think it was an amazing experience. I can't wait to get back to it because I know how I felt. I know how it made me feel. I know what I loved and what I didn't like. So I think the second time going into it, I'm better positioned to be much more successful because I know what to anticipate, what to prepare, what to buy, what to do, and be okay with that. Can you meal prep on carnivore? I think for me, because I traveled for work, it was necessary. And when I ate out, because I'm a creature of habit, the hotels and the restaurants in the hotels knew that I was carnivore. So they already knew what I was going to order and they would always make it the exact way that I loved it. So kudos to my Hilton and Marriott families because they literally took really good care of me. I was also I've been doing a quarterly newsletter for my day job. So part of that has been a great, I guess, just a great experience where yes, I cook, I do all these things, I write recipes, but I do a quarterly newsletter where I talk about just food, the origins of food, memories of what I have of that food, provide different experiences or different ways in which you can have a protein. Have the most recent was it's the spring. So I was going to do what do I want to do and what is my favorite things about spring, and it's pesto. So I did the pesto recipe and I gave a variety of options on how you can have it from people. Some people put it on crostini. You put a little burrata on crostini, then pesto on top. You have the vegetarian. You have, I can't say vegan because there is cheese in my pesto, but there was options for different nuts. Like I used pine nuts, but you can use pistachios. You can use walnuts, almond, macona almond. Like there's just the options are limitless. You can do different ways and different things of whatever you want. And so that was my article this quarter. And what's next week? So in our meeting, we're going to Atlanta, and there's a bunch of restaurants that it's a really jam packed because I have friends and family in Atlanta, and I'm going to see if I can try and see them. I can't guarantee it because they have our agenda is so tight, but it is what it is. So that's been the culinary aspect, the carnivore journey, um, being able to write a newsletter for my job, a quarterly newsletter about food. This will be the second one that I did. The first one was an olive oil cake, an orange olive oil cake. It was inspired by Giada De Laurentiis. I didn't use the orange infused olive oil. I kind of changed it up a little bit to do it my way, but I did use an Italian olive oil and then I actually squeezed some fresh oranges and then used the zest. And that was, I mean, I had part of Jada's recipe and then I changed like four ingredients to sort of just experiment. I think I made it like three times until I got it down the way I love it. So that worked out beautifully. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Recently, I've been following some other content creators who are doing a lot of things about food, mostly the carnivore lifestyle, because I would say it's been interesting. It's going to be a part of my life. And I think in order for that to happen, I continue to educate myself. There, obviously, the books are behind me. There's my Julia Child section, but I have a new carnivore book that I just ordered, and we'll see because I'll cook some of those recipes and I'll put them out there. The other part was I am no longer following other content creators. This is not spilling tea of any kind. It's just that I'm choosing to no longer affiliate myself with certain things of my past. Those of you know I was a part of Prove It, the network marketing company. I've sort of pulled away from following because a lot of people were showing up on my For You page, and I personally no longer want to be affiliated with that company or people in it. Um, that's all I'll say about that. But those who are in it, I wish you the best. I'm just personally, I just pulled away. I'm done. No longer will I be a part of that world. I have been approached by one, two, three people from three different network marketing companies who are trying to recruit me. And I was like, really? Yeah, those days are done. So please don't reach out to me and say, "Oh, I thought of you." Listen, the scripts are real. People really use scripts. I saw what was it? I commented on somebody's page about something. They look fantastic. They're like, "Hey, are you following me, or are you supporting me, or are you just following me?" I was like, "Oh God, did I used to use that script?" If I use that script on anybody, I do apologize. But that's been very interesting for people reaching out to me because I can tell like they're doing power hours, which means follow the script and message 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people on your whoever's greenlit on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. I was like, y'all do your thing, just don't include me in it anymore. I'm not interested. So leave me out of it. However, my name has not been left out of some people's mouths within the network marketing space. I love how they say, "Well, I don't think about this person anymore," but then I'll get a random message from somebody, "Hey, I thought you should see this." I'm like, "Okay," I watch it and I'm like, "Why are they still talking about me when I've been out for over a year?" I just don't get it. So there's that aspect. And so let's just fast forward. I will say this about the last thing I'll say about network marketing. If that's what you want to do, then go for it. Um, like Aaron B says, don't join an MLM. There's so many other options that you can do. You actually don't get paid what you're worth unless you're willing to compromise certain values, in my opinion. Why am I using protective language? I'm not even outing anybody or talking about anybody, but just, protective language. I put it out there. However, the sad part is that I have lost some connection with people within the industry. Um, you know who you are. And it's sad, but it is what it is. It's a choice, right? Everything in life is a choice. So that's what you choose. Then more power to you. Go on with your bad self. Just remember not to ever backstab anybody because karma's real and karma does come and get you. And just remember, when you were protected, we took care of you. Just remember that. Again, you know who you are. And if even if you see this, I don't know if you will or not. So where are we going from here? Now this is the exciting part, and I'll say this in like just a few couple minutes. But I just did my nails again black. I was feeling my rock and roll self again, and I was like, you know what? I miss my black nails. I stopped it for a long time because I would get some comments on my YouTube channel. I can't follow anybody with black nails. I think that's just horrible for men to do that. Okay, don't follow me. I'm like, sometimes they'll be black, sometimes they'll be clear. Those are the only two colors you're ever going to see on my nails, black or clear. And yes, I literally had several people go, I can't follow a man who has black nails. I'm like, okay. I didn't ask you to follow me. Well, maybe I did. But if that's how you're going to be, then please don't. Because this isn't going to work out well. So that is that. And where are we? I don't know. We'll see what's happening. Oh, I'll share this little personal part of me. So, what I started to do, where are we? We're in April. Right after New Year's, when I started Carnivore, I realized that if this is a new year, then let's really dive in and figure out what we want to do, what we don't want to do. I did find myself a therapist. I used BetterHelp.com, although recently I've seen a lot of backlash against BetterHelp, how it's a scam, how it's this. Listen, my therapist, I freaking love her. We talk almost every single week. She responds to text messages because she knows how my brain works. She realizes that about 10 or 11 at night when I'm laying in bed is when I start to process things, and I'll have a thought, a random thought, and I'll message her. And I'm just going to sleep about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and there's a message from my therapist. It has been the absolute best experience of my life. I didn't think, I knew I wanted to have somebody to talk to. And of course, in the beginning, when you first meet someone, you really don't open up because you're trying to figure out who they are. Is this going to be the right person for me? Are they truly going to understand what I'm trying to say? Fast forward, we're in April, so this is month 3. I've opened up because I trust her. She's been very honest with me. She gives me a perspective of someone outside looking in, which I think is the coolest thing. Someone told me, "Aren't you afraid that people are going to think you're crazy?" Child, I've been crazy my whole life. But it is so important to have somebody to talk to, at least in my opinion. I love the fact that I have someone. And we have a weekly standing appointment every Friday, early evening, I would say. And it's a wonderful thing because she'll give me assignments, she'll give me different things to do, and it has helped me uncover certain things I guess I had probably just hidden away for so long. But in uncovering, I've discovered a whole new sense of self where I'm stepping into the things I've wanted to do for a very long time, but was afraid to do so. So if you guys can understand that, then you totally know why I absolutely love talk therapy. And that has been the absolute best thing ever because I realized that one of the things we worked on in the last 2 weeks was setting boundaries because I think I was afraid to set boundaries because I would hurt people's feelings. And I was like, no, you need to set boundaries because you have to protect your peace. And I've been saying that for years. You need to protect your peace. So, in doing so, some people have reached out. They're like, hey, I haven't heard from you. What's going on? I'm like, I'm still here. But there are some folks who have yet to reach out, and there are some folks who have reached out. And I've told them, listen, we're at different phases in our lives. I value your friendship. I said, but we're just not aligned. And until we're aligned, I'm here, but it's just not the same. And surprisingly, some of the people I've had that conversation with, which it can be an uncomfortable conversation, were like, I'm so glad you said that because I was feeling this type of way. So it sort of opened up a dialogue with people who from my past who we really haven't spoken a lot. And now we're speaking much more because we've been able to sort of address things that might have been hidden because I wasn't ready to deal with them. Y'all, there therapy is a wonderful thing. So that aspect. So yes, am I sharing my truth on here and putting it out there? I don't see why it would be such a big deal. I think sharing the truth is letting people know that it's okay to reach out to somebody. We're human. We're prone to err and make mistakes. Why can't we have somebody that could help us put things in perspective or see things from another angle or push us into a level of discomfort to uncover some beautiful things? So yes, therapy has been a fantastic thing for me and I love it. I absolutely will I do it forever? Probably I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not as frequent. I just knew I needed to uncover and deal with a lot of things. Like I had some anger issues surrounding leaving my former network marketing company. Oh yeah, there was anger. Um I have videos of people talking negative about me where maybe a couple years ago that would have affected me in a negative way. But I watched it and I was like, oh, bless their hearts. Aren't they special? Therapy helped me get to that point where that just doesn't even faze me. And I will not mention these people's names because I will not give them any validation whatsoever. But they know who they are. And if they ever see this, then hey, I wish you the best. So that's that. I have been asked many times to do some anti-MLM content because I wasn't MLMs for probably 15 years. I think in 15 years I was a part of 5 companies. Wait, one, two, 4 companies. Four, maybe 5. Between 4 or 5 companies. So I have my own experiences in that. Excuse me. I have not decided if I'm going to do it. I know I have the love and support of many anti-MLM content creators who've reached out to me. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to be in my scope. I do have some things I want to say. It won't be on this video, but there are some things that I do want to say, and I probably will say just at a later date, probably with some video footage. Because listen, learning how to screen record, that's a godsend. Many people told me how to do it. Of course, I had to consult the beautiful Google and YouTube on how to screen record. And there are some things, people have sent me videos. I don't have a Google Drive or anything like that. So don't send me anything. I'm just saying, when the time comes, if I do so choose to do that, it will not be under the Dre in the kitchen. I do have a podcast, Dre's Table, and I also have the YouTube channel, Dre's Table. I have not done anything for it yet, but I did create it. Should I decide to dive into the anti-MLM space? Oh yeah, no, this has been a very good conversation. So if there's something that you want to know and you may want to ask, feel free to drop it in the comments and ask me. I'm an open book. If I don't want to address it, I'll let you know. I'm not ready, because sometimes you have to be ready to address certain things, especially if family's involved. And when it comes to family, they say blood is thicker than water. Not so much. Maybe for some people, but not for others. However, when you hurt family, then I have a problem. When you hurt my family, because then I'm going to have to react a little bit. So if my sister calls me, just hypothetically speaking, of course, and is feeling hurt some kind of way because of something someone has done, I'm like, hey, just don't even sweat it, let it go. But when I watched a video recently of a certain instance, oh Lord Jesus, let me hydrate. I got all bent out of shape. I will not lie to you. I watched the video. Normally I'm like, whatever. This is like, just don't even bother. But I watched the video and it literally got me all up in my feels. It got me twisted, not for me, but for the way it made my sister feel. For me, I could give a shit. On personally, I could care less. However, comma space, when it hurts my sister, we have a problem. So, will I be addressing that video? Yeah, I will be. Not yet. Don't worry. I'll be addressing it soon, though, because um, I don't like liars. I don't like fallacies. I don't like things being misconstrued, and not when I have receipts. Um, but I probably won't do that. I talk about it and I share it on here. Why am I sharing it? I don't know, because it's thinking about it is making me actually very angry, and so my ear's not red yet, but I'm getting angry. So one thing, if you know about me, if I get angry because I'm so fair skinned, my ears turn beet red and then they get very, very hot. And I can already sense them starting to get hot. So let's change this topic. Anyway, let's move on. So I may address that, I may not. I haven't decided. There are some other things I will address on the podcast that I'm creating. I've recorded several episodes. I have not published them yet because I want them to go with Dre's Table, which is a separate YouTube channel. When I launch it, I will let you know. And that will be more podcast format, a lot of interviews, a lot of different things that I want to address in the carnivore world, maybe some self-reflection, where we are at certain instances. Example, I've reconnected with my voice teacher. So she and I, you know, she's been in my dreams. I've had certain dreams with certain recording artists that we've gotten together that I've met over the years. So who knows what any of that means? I could mean absolutely nothing, but that'll be on the podcast. I want to do more of an interview style because I think it's kind of nice when you can interact with someone and get a perspective. And this podcast is not going to be anti-MLM. It may have an episode here, an episode there, but it's really just a general life. The idea came to me when I think it was Jada. Jada has her red table, which is a red round table where everybody gets on there and talks. And then there's The View, where you have just different perspectives. And that sort of is where Dre's Table came from, where I wanted it to be a safe space for people to come and address and speak to about just a variety of topics. And I think it's important because so many things I don't think are addressed because of fear, especially mental health. So that's one of the things that I'll make sure that we talk about because I think it's important. I think we've all seen what's going on in the news and around the world, and sometimes it affects people in different ways. And I want it to be a safe space where you can come speak your mind without any hopefully, because some people, they love to get in the comments and get all twisted and bent out of shape. But I want it to be a safe space where you can come and address whatever topics you want. I do have a friend who's a drag queen and wants to come on and talk about the entire of what's going on right now here in the U.S. and in certain states, especially here in the state of Florida, which we're not going to get into that conversation either because there go the ears, they're getting hot. Um, so these are the telltale signs. You can tell when I'm upset and something is bothering me because you see, hold on, see, wrong ear, it's getting red. So anyway, so let's wrap this up before my face turn. If my face turns red, it's game on. Uh, so that is it. That is my carnivore and life update. Um, I have 70 recipes written down, completely typed out. I wanted to put this out there. So if you've made it this far into 36-minute video or 35-minute video, I have recipes and I'm going to need someone who's a really good food stylist to help me take pictures. I know my sister will help me soon enough. Maybe I'll call my cousin Kathy. But if you're a food stylist and you love to take pictures and you can eat the food too, just let me know because I need to get some really good photos. I tried it. I just don't have that eye. I can cook the food. It'll be fabulous, phenomenal. It'll look great on a plate. I just don't have that visual eye. I just don't. I don't. So I'm going to be looking for help. The website, drainthekitchen.com, will be updated. I've written down, I sort of have like a dream board of what I want it to look like and where it's going to go. I also am looking into ghostwriting for a fiction book. I have a table of contents done. So I'm working on that. There's quite a few things. I haven't been on here. I have not posted a video. I've gotten tons of messages on Instagram like, where are you? Where's your next video? It hasn't happened because there's so many things that have been happening in between. And I had to take care of those things. One, my mental health was the first thing. Second thing is there were so many different facets of between coming up with a table of contents for the fiction book, which is sort of based on kind of my life, but not really. The names have been changed to protect the innocent type of thing. So we'll see where that goes. But I've always, I think since I was a young kid, I've wanted to be a published author. So I would love to make that dream come true. Yes, I want to do a cookbook, but that's going to be to pass on just family traditions and some things that I've come up with along the way. But the fiction book itself has been something I've wanted to do for a long time. I have journals and I've been rereading my old journals. I've been journaling since I was 13 years old. So you do the math. And I've been reflecting on some of those things. And I've got to tell you, they've transported me on these weird journeys where in fact, I even reconnected with my old college roommate who now lives in Florida and we're together all the time. Hello, Janos. So it's been a really good thing. And we've been reflecting on the people we knew, experiences we had in the college days. There's so many things that happened from college. There's a period in time in my music career and why I stopped my music career, which I really never addressed because I didn't want to put people's names out there. So I probably still won't put their names out there. Maybe I will. I don't know as to why I walked away. And yeah. So I think that's enough. I think you kind of have an idea as to where I've been, what I'm doing, and where we're going to go. So, hey, thanks for watching this far. If you've got any questions and there are things you want to ask, just drop it in the comments. Or you can follow me on Instagram, Drain the Kitchen. I'm also on TikTok, Drain the Kitchen. The website, I'm trying to add things a little bit here and there, but I will have some things coming to figure out how to really ramp it up a bit. I want to include a quarterly newsletter, maybe a monthly newsletter. Maybe I'll start quarterly for now, because you have all the different seasons. There's so many different things. I've discovered some farms. I don't know if I'm going to live in Florida forever, so the idea of where I'm going to go from here, Ivan and I are working on that right now. Because if things continue the way they are in the state of Florida, I will not stay here. We even looked at, yes, I will share this with you before I go, living abroad. We've looked at Spain, France, and we're looking into Portugal. Yeah, listen, this is a reality. And sometimes things get very scary at home. And when you look at other countries, the beautiful thing about Spain, and I'll leave this, is that they have a process where you can actually get citizenship if you can prove that your lineage, because lineage before Puerto Rico became a Commonwealth was from Spain, they will grant you citizenship. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I researched it and found it. So Ivan was like, let's go. He's like right away, like just pick up and let's go. It's obviously a lengthy process, but depending on how things happen here, that might actually be a viable option. You know, let's get the book out. Let's do all the things, and if we can do this, we'll see where we end up. There is nothing set in stone. Everything is just sort of like um, a sticky note on my vision board for 2023, and I've been adding to it as we go along, and we'll see where we are. Like this is just it's an entire process. Um, and I actually love the process. Notice how I pivoted away from addressing certain issues. That's okay. There'll be another episode, don't you worry. I love y'all. Please make sure you follow, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like, share, comment. Yeah, okay. Just do all the things. All the things. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Then I don't know what it's going to be, but I have, like I said, I've been recording podcasts weekly for Dre's Table, and no, they're not published, so you can't go find it because there's not even a single episode yet. Um, and we'll see where we go. So I love y'all. Thank you so much for listening to me and for understanding why I decided to share what I shared. Is it a little personal? Probably. Will some people get their feelings all twisted and stuff? Probably. Will I get messages like I started getting messages today from family members? Most likely. Will I respond to them? I don't know. We'll see. Um, but you're probably going to hear a lot more about me talking about my mother. My mom, just so you know, God, I said this would be quick. Whatever, we'll just say it. My mom passed away when I was 15 years old from ovarian cancer in 1991. So I didn't have her for a very long time. However, from the moment she got diagnosed when I was 13 until she passed at 15, we spent so much time together and we had these wild conversations. It's where I learned about the Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin. It is the one song that she and I sat to. We must have played it over like 20 to 30 times. And we had conversations about life, about setting boundaries with people, even when it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's important to let people go from your life. Like, I remember that evening quite vividly. And there were other times where she shared how she was the pillar of strength for so many others. And it was hard for her to embrace, take help from people. She was a very strong and independent woman. She was the kind of person who she was everyone's shoulder. She was there to help a lot of people. She every Sunday she cooked dinner. People would randomly come knocking on the door because they knew that there would be food there. So it was one of those things where people just randomly knocked on a Sunday and like, "Hey, I'm here. What you doing?" Because they knew she was cooking. So there were those experiences. I remember moving to New York from Puerto Rico when I and eventually ended up living with her. There's a lot of stories, and they're beautiful stories, and I love them. And I'm going to share a lot of them because I've been able through therapy to uncover a lot of these memories that were probably repressed for a very long time. And I'm ready to share them because I am just like her. My aunts, my sister go, some of you, the things that you do, some of the things you say, sometimes how strong you are and how firm you are in your stance, you're just like your mother. Like people think my sister's the bitch. They do. They think she's the bitch. She's not. It's really me. Let me clarify. In terms of, um, I made a post on Facebook, and I don't even remember what I wrote. Actually, I originally posted it, and I quickly edited it to make it private for myself, only for me to see. And it took me a while to rewrite it, reset it. And I wrote this. I said, I inherited a trait from my mom that has served me well. When I cut you off, it's done. That simple. No remorse or sadness. See, that was easy. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Have a beautiful day. Well, apparently that post got all people kinds of twisted. And and the reason I say I'm just like my mom, and I'll end with this, is there was one conversation that she and I had, and it was in the hospital room. It was probably right before she passed away. And if I make a comment or a post, those are based on my personal experiences with my mother. And the conversation probably happened a month, or maybe a couple of weeks before she passed away. And we sat there, and I've never shared this story with anybody. Actually, I'm lying to you. It was 4 days before she passed. I can't believe I'm going to share this, but I'm going to share it. And I sat there. It was a Sunday. My mother died on a Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday. 4 days later, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Wednesday, September 4th, 1991. And I sat there. Everybody left the room because she asked to leave us alone. And we sat there and we talked. And at that point in my life, I was very young. I knew change was coming. Thankfully, my sister and I, we've always been very, very close. So she's been my sounding board. She was the one who explained things like when medications changed or monitors changed. I'm very observant. So I was able to see a lot of those different things. Wow, this live is taking a turn I didn't even know it was going to take. So, or video, not this isn't live. I'm recording it on StreamYard. So, yeah, no. So we sat there and she was like, so these are her exact words. I know I'm going to die. And there's certain things I need you to know. And there's certain things I need you to do because you're the strong one. You're me. You can handle this where others cannot. These are her words, not mine. And I was like, okay, like what? And sharing those things, I'm not ready to share the rest of the conversation. But when I post a comment saying that I'm just like my mother, it's because she shared so much with me. And I treasure those moments with all of my heart because it took me a very long time to be comfortable in my own skin. And I love that. She had a passion for food. And it's probably why I've always been the open heart and caring and helping people. And I've always opened my doors to people. I've had people live with me and I've taken care of them. I've been backstabbed. I've been betrayed. I've been all the things, but I've still kept my caring heart. I've always opened my heart and my home, even though Ivan hates it. But that's just who my mom was, and it's an extent. I'm an extension of her, so it's how I was. So the end of the conversation, this I can share because it won't make me cry. But I need you to be strong and to be ready because my time is coming to an end. Whew. And you're the only one who's going to be the strongest. So I truly was. When she passed away, I was at school. I think it was the first or second day at high school. I was a junior in high school. So when I got the call at work, at work. At school, my sister was on the phone. Hey, mommy's not doing well. I need you to come. So first of all, wow, this is not the live I anticipated. Um, my sister was calm on the phone. Red flag number one. If you know my sister, she is everything but calm. She's very lively, if you will. And when I got to the hospital, I saw my cousin Joanne. She was waiting for me downstairs, and she was hysterical. So I already knew. When I walked into the corridor, I think it was the seventh floor at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx, because that's where she worked and that's where she passed away. It was a sea of people. She was very beloved and loved by so many, with just friends, families, coworkers, that it was like the sea parted when I got into the corridor. And when I got into the room, Dr. Frazier was there. She was my childhood neurologist. My cousin Christine and Selena, my sister, those two were there at my mom's last breath. And I can't remember who else was in the room. I think Dr. Stevenson was there. The rest is a blur. I think anyway, it doesn't matter who was there, but it's a blur. And Father Mickey. Oh, Father Mickey. He was there too, I think. This is a very long time ago. But whatever. This wasn't the point of my video today. Wow, so much for Carnivore. This is more of the life. And that was that. So maybe I'll share more of that. Therapy has truly allowed me to really dive deep and let all of these feelings out. So I'm all for talk therapy. It's fantastic. And so yeah. So when I make certain comments and I make certain statements that I am like my mother, unless you were there, you just don't know. And this isn't insulting anyone who's made comments. I'm just clarifying that when I make a statement, it is a statement based on my experience with my mom, because it's what we had in that room. So I think I might share a little more. There's so many beautiful memories I have with my mom. I didn't get to have her for my whole life. At age of 15, my aunt took over. And that's a whole other conversation, because my aunt is my heart. And don't mess with my titi. I'll cut you. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying it's an expression. But I'm very protective of my family. So anyway, thank you for listening to me babble and tear up, even though I said I wouldn't. Because this was not the way I thought this video was going to go. But it is what it is. So 52 minutes in. Thanks for hearing me. Thanks for listening to me. Thank you for understanding me. I think I need to share more of who I am, because many people don't know who I am. You might see a persona on video. You might see a persona post on TikTok, on this, on that. When I was in network marketing, you only saw what I wanted you to see. But this is who I am. This is me. It's almost like that song from The Greatest Showman. This is me. Anyway, I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. If there's anything you want to know, I'm an open book. And if I don't want to share it, I will comment that. That's a little too personal. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But usually I'm an open book and I'll share everything. So I love y'all, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.